Welcome to Amir's Math School. In this video, we are going to learn about the partial fraction. If a given fraction is expressed as a sum of two or more fractions, then each of the latter fraction is said to be a partial fraction of the given fraction. I just divide the partial fraction into two parts, that is proper and improper fraction. That is the partial fraction expansion of proper fraction and the partial fraction expansion of improper fraction. The main aim of partial fraction is to express the fraction as a sum of two or more fractions. Let's see some proper fractions. If the degree of the expression of numerator is less than the degree of the expression of denominator, in that case that fraction is called proper fraction. Let's see some proper fraction. X divided by x minus 1 times x plus 1. This is the first type, and the second type, that is 2x plus 1 divided by x minus 1 times x plus 1 whole square. Here the denominator is the product of linear factor where some of the factors are repeated. Here x plus 1 is repeated, that is x plus 1 whole square. In the third case, the similar one as number 2, that is 2x minus 1 divided by x plus 1 x minus 1 whole cube. In this case, this one is square, that is repeated 2 times. Here the repeated 3 times. Type 4, that is 7 divided by x square times x minus 1. This is also like type 2 or 3. Number 5, 3x square plus 1 x minus 1 times x square plus 1. Here the denominator is expressed as a product of linear and a quadratic factor. This one is a quadratic factor, x square plus 1. So this is another new type. So here this one is the first type, 2, 3, 4 are the same type, and 5 is another type. Next one, that is number 7, x plus 1 divided by x minus 1 times x square plus 1 whole square. In this case, this quadratic factor is repeated. And the last type, that is 11 divided by x minus 1 whole square, x square plus 1 whole square. That is, this linear factor is repeated, this quadratic factor is also repeated. So this is almost all type of proper fraction. Here we need just 3 categories. That is, this one is the first category, 2, 3, 4, this one is the second category, and this 5 and 6 is another category. So 7 and 8 is a mixed category of 2, 3, 4 and 5, 6. Now let's see the improper fractions. When the degree of numerator is greater than or equal to the degree of denominator, in that case that is called improper fraction. So let's see some improper fraction. That is x squared divided by x minus 1 times x plus 1. Here you see the degree of denominator is 2 and the degree of numerator is also 2. Next one, 2x to the power 4 plus 7 x squared times x minus 1. Here just one linear factor is repeated. The next type, that is one quadratic factor is here. The degree of numerator is greater than the degree of denominator. Here the quadratic factor is repeated, and the last type, number 16, where the linear factor and also the quadratic factor both are repeated. Now let's see what we need to know to express the fraction into the sum of two or more partial fractions. That is number 1, for which value of x the value of 2x minus 1 is 0. This type of basic knowledge we need to solve this type of partial fraction problem. That is, for which value of x 2x minus 1 is equal to 0. This is very much simple. 2x minus 1 equal to 0, where x is equal to half. That is, for the value of x equal to half, 2x minus 1 is 0. Number 2, the equating the coefficient of various power of the variables. That is, if 2x minus 1 is equal to ax square plus bx plus c, if we equating these two, that is the coefficient of x square, x and constant term in the both side of this equation, in that case we can get, in case of x square, ax square, in left side the x square is absent, that's why a is equal to 0, and bx in left side we have 2x, so in case of x we have b equal to 2, and in case of constant term, here the constant term is c, here the constant term is minus 1, so in case of constant term c is equal to minus 1. So equating the coefficient of x square, x and constant term, we get a equal to 0, b equal to 2 and c equal to minus 1. This type of knowledge we need to solve the partial fraction. The next one, the solution of system of linear equation. That is, in solving the partial fraction related problem, sometimes this type of equation we have. that is a plus b equal to 2 and 2a minus b equal to 1. We have to solve these two equations for a and b. That is, after solving, we can easily get that is a equal to 1 and b equal to also 1. So this type of solution of system of linear equation is also neat in case of partial fraction. And there is a symbol we need that is identical to this triple bar. That is, we use this symbol in partial fraction. Let's start with the first type of partial fraction, x divided by x minus 1 times x plus 1, which is identical to a divided by x minus 1 plus b divided by x plus 1. This is very much important. This is a proper fraction. For this, we can write in this way, that is a divided by x minus 1 plus b divided by x plus 1. If we write this line correctly, then the solving the partial fraction related problem is very much easy to solve in the next step. So first, what should we do? Multiply both the side by this denominator, x minus 1 times x plus 1. In this case, we have x divided by x minus 1 times x plus 1 times this denominator, x minus 1 times x plus 1, which is equal to a divided by x minus 1 times x minus 1 times x plus 1 plus b divided by x plus 1 times x minus 1 times x plus 1. That is the multiplying both sides by this denominator. In that case, we will get that is x divided by a times these two cancel, that is x plus 1 plus b times x minus 1. So this is our final equation. Now, when x equal to 1, here you see, when x equal to 1, this part is 0. So if this one is 0, then b will be 0. That is one unknown a. So in that case, left side the value of x is 1, and here we substitute the value of x equal to 1, that is a into 1 plus 1 plus b times 1 minus 1. So this part will be 0. So here we get 1 equal to 2a, that is a equal to half. Similarly, when x equal to minus 1, if we substitute this value x equal to minus 1 in this equation, we have minus 1 is equal to minus 1 plus 1 times a plus b times minus 1 minus 1. That is minus 1 equal to minus 2b or b equal to half. So we got the value of a and b. If we substitute the value of a and b in this equation, we can easily get the value of these partial fractions. That is, we can write x divided by x minus 1 times x plus 1, which is equal to 1 divided by 2 times x minus 1 plus 1 divided by 2 times x plus 1. That is, the value of a is equal to half and value of b is equal to half. Then after simplification, we can write in this way.